doctor said, you know, we really need to call in hospice. And I had never had experience or any exposure to hospice care. There was always somebody there when I needed somebody from hospice. There was always that feeling of we're not doing enough for our mom. And they were there to say, you know, you don't have to be her nurse or her aide. You can just be her daughter and just be with her. When she passed, we called the hospice person immediately. A chaplain was there probably in a half hour. It was tough. I got information about the grief counseling, and I thought, you know, this is probably something I need to look into, because I wasn't doing really well on my own. It was what I needed. In my session, there were like 10 of us, and we had all lost our moms within the prior year. Just sharing those experiences and hearing others talk about feeling the same kind of loss that I felt. The counselor really just guided us through the process and helped us to verbalize some feelings and emotions and talk about what had happened in a way that, you know, you began to think about the memories as they weren't quite so painful. My mom certainly wouldn't wanted us to have struggled with that, and hospice was there to do that. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to your loved one to get help. That person's life may have ended on a certain day, but they are always a part of you. The Hospice Grief Counseling Center really helps you find that next chapter.
I became familiar with hospice when my mother became ill for the last time, and her doctor actually recommended that we get in touch with hospice. And they came almost immediately. They took care of everything. The people, all of them, were extremely kind and treating her with great respect. That helped me a lot. When my mother passed away, I was completely alone. And I realized pretty early on that I couldn't deal with my grief alone. The most important thing is for anyone who's experiencing a loss, anyone who's going through grief, not to go through it alone. To speak with people who understand grief and understand the course of grief, that's really valuable. So recognizing that, you know, how you react and how you feel when you lose someone is different. Hospice helped me see that. I've learned a lot about hospice from dealing directly with the organization, and I commend everyone who works at hospice.
We decided that instead of him spending his last moments in a hospital, we'd let him die in peace at home. I just remember the grievance counselor that was around the house when my dad was really sick. Sometimes we would sit down at the table and I would just question after question after question. I was, 12, I had all the questions in the world, and they just had answers for all my questions. And I never once saw any annoyance, any frustration, anything. Just, they understood where I was coming from. And I didn't really want to see a counselor. I thought I was above all that. I reluctantly went into it. She really helped me understand that my feelings are normal, and I wasn't as strong as I thought I was. And I had a lot of things to get over, and I had a lot of things to talk about. And you don't really realize that until you give it a chance. And Shannon, she didn't really know what was going on. She was so young. She loved going to the group counseling. She met friends. She really started to understand the situation better. I just remember hospice being right there and supporting me when I needed it. So, you could feel that they really cared and that they weren't just going through the motions or doing their job. Hospice can offer you things that are really helpful in times of struggle, and they can help anyone. Whether you just need someone there to pat you on the back and say it's all right, or you just need someone to talk to and listen and not say anything, or if you need someone to give you advice and lead you on the right path and recovering from grieving, hospice can do all that for you. I constantly find myself thinking about what if he was still here? When I approach things today that are difficult or that I'm having trouble with, I miss that I could go to him and know that I would get an honest answer and that he would lead me on the right path.
There isn't another organization who does the things that hospice does in our community. So I encourage people to really give and give generously.
For an organization like hospice and the Grief Counseling Center, be as generous as you can.
I don't think you can really put a price tag on caring and loving communities. Obviously, give to hospice, they deserve it, so pay up.